Hello and welcome. You're watching me, Sanket Upadhyay, on the Federal. The show is called AI with Sanket. This is the AI of news because news in India today requires not artificial but analytical intelligence. What is happening in West Bengal with regards to allegations of vote chori, SIR, use of ED, all of that is secondary. The discussion that we are having today is the undeniable accountability of the election commission in controlling the situation, the law and order situation, till the elections and after the elections, till the new government takes over. And on that count, since the 4th of May, not a single day or a single night has gone where you have not seen violence. And who's accountable? The 700 companies of paramilitary force. Where were they? Why is this happening? Suvendu Adhikari's personal assistant was killed, and so were 4 others. Violence is happening every day, every night. Who is responsible for this? It's time to fix that accountability. That responsibility rests with just one man and one person alone, and that is Mr. Gyanesh Kumar. He's now saying arrest everyone who's taking law in their own hands. But with 700 companies, why did this situation occur in the first place? I have with me Mr. Sanjay Jha as well as Mr. T.R. Srinivas to discuss this. Thank you very much, gentlemen. This is an important issue, and I thought that it's important to zoom out a little and fix accountability. Mr. Sanjay Jha, I want to begin with you first, with your opening comments.
Well, Sanket, good to be on your program. Good to be with you, Mr. Srinivas. I'm obviously disappointed that the topic that we're discussing is very dark, very depressing. We are talking about some very serious violence in West Bengal. I have read about the murder of the PA to Mr. Adhikari. That's extremely tragic. And the violence that is otherwise continuing where more people have died. It just is mindless, it's senseless. And I think it's so dangerous. Accountability obviously is what we should focus on, Sanket, because this is happening in a modern India, in an India which has television and social media, which can tell you about what's going on. And the fact that despite the fact that there are people are aware that they could be photographed or they could be on a videotape, the truth is that people don't seem to care, or there is a complete lack of fear, which means that it is now taking on a very alarming, shall we say, because when people don't fear consequences of violence, it means they actually believe that law and order is secondary, and the fact that this can be like a tin pot dictatorship or a banana republic is what is their mindset at the moment. You're right. I mean, I'm astonished because from what I read in the data, that the number of paramilitary forces that is there in Bengal is normally what would happen perhaps for a Lok Sabha election. And that's happening in one state. And despite that, you're seeing very unchecked, unrestrained attacks by mobs, including obviously what we all know is a number of deaths. To me, I'm very clear in this that the election commission has been vested with authority. We all know that the government effectively stops working during the election until the government is formed. A lot of the responsibility really lies with the election commissioner alone. And here is the fact, right? The election commission is not a big setup, but the entire machinery reports to the election commissioner. And here I would feel that you have to go beyond their jurisdiction and ask what's happening in terms of the role of the central government, because this is a matter of grave concern. Because let me tell you something, that if you follow the political violence history of West Bengal, if this is allowed to continue or percolate even further down into the interiors of Bengal or get into the psyche of people, then this could become a very serious, recurring, long-term problem of a very diabolical magnitude that will make it very difficult for a new government to function. I think this is a moment for panic, and this is a moment for a very quick redressal. And I think Gyanesh Kumar has a lot to explain to the people of Bengal and to the people of India.
Mr. Srinivas, you see, it's all nice to celebrate a win, but if you look at the incidents that have happened, They all have happened with people waving the BJP flag, chanting slogans, and it's a sort of a victory rally which has gone horribly, horribly wrong. It is violent in nature. Offices are being burned, statues are being removed, people are being killed, and of course, the tragic incident of Mr. Suvendu Adhikari's personal assistant. Now, the point is, where is the responsibility of the winning party in containing its cadre? And number two, the responsibility of 2.5 lakh security personnel and 700 specific companies of paramilitary personnel who were supposed to stay back to control exactly this. 700 companies is a huge number. 70,000 central paramilitary forces of the BSF, of the CISF, CRPF, NSG, even teams of the NIA, all of them are stationed in West Bengal. And yet this is happening.
Sanketji, thank you very much for your inviting to this show, and pleasure to be with Mr. Sanjay Jha. And I just listened to his opening comments. Let me break down the various aspects of this entire history in chronological order. Now, elections are over. Yes, I fully agree. Gyanesh Kumarji is to be asked certain questions. Yes, as a citizen of India, as a BJP leader, yes, people have the right to ask him. Yes, agree. Now, what is happening is as we everybody fondly call him Chandrada. He was actually the go-to man for all those 294 constituencies in charges, and he was actually the logistic in charge and everything, all managing at the back end for Suvendu. Now, what happened is he was recused. He was, as per the statement of TGP and which was given to Suvendu, that he was recused. His car was stopped around 100 meters away from his house, and he was shot at point blank. Now the gun has been recovered, the car has been recovered, even the bikes have been recovered. The chassis have been numbers have been wiped off. Now the investigation is going on. Yes, the accountability has to be fixed here, and it will be fixed. Now what is happening is in this transition there will be a lot of flux, including people who have been trying to get into the ecosystem of BJP, saying that yes, we are BJP cadre. No, there have been a strict instruction on West Bengal BJP that until unless the local BJP mandal presidents and the district presidents say we are not going to accept anybody inside the entire ecosystem. So this is one aspect. It lays to rest that they were not most of the violence which was done are not from our cadre. Yes, we can say it very with a lot of conviction. The reason is our national president, even home minister sir, and even the state president also said we will not continue the cycle of uh, revenge violence. Yes, we will want to try to bring in a change here. Yes, we are committed to this, and that's the reason one of the MLA's own brother has been killed. Still, he says yes, we will go for a change. We will not go into the revenge killing, and we will wait for the law to take its own course. This is what
Mr.
is going
Srinivas,
on the current. Yes.
Mr. Srinivas, I've heard what you have said, and this is pretty much in line with what the BJP in West Bengal is saying. But Mr. Sanjay Jha, here is the thing. Even before an investigation, I agree when the BJP says that not all people are the BJP cadre and there could be some notorious people. It's a possibility. Having said that, before an investigation, especially when you see victory marches taking place with bulldozers, with leaders like Dilip Ghosh on top of those bulldozers, BJP flags, holding BJP flags, and moving around freely, operating with impunity, to assume that all of these people are some outsiders who have joined in to be seen as BJP wala, some gunda elements, does it betrays logic. After all, Mr. Dilip Ghosh is not an outsider, no? What was he doing on top of a bulldozer,
Yeah,
Mr. Jha?
I heard Abhishek Banerjee's statement yesterday, and I'm sure that if he's made that allegation even if it's exaggerated, there will be a lot of substance in it. He said that roughly 104 offices of the TMC were attacked. Some were, frankly speaking, very violently assaulted. Now, these are serious allegations. And while, Bengal may have a history in the past, it happened during the time of the Congress, during CPM, and even during the time of the Trinamool. At what point are we going to turn this entire miserable, wretched phase of darkness around? I mean, this is very, very worrying because things have changed. I can understand at one point people could get away because there were no cameras. People become so brazen as to take the law and order in their own hands, then I think it portends very serious danger. Now, I've seen a lot of other images too, Sanket. Various signages have been brought down. We saw what happened in New Market with the bulldozer, and I remember going to Kolkata. And New Market is one of the most happening places in Kolkata, and it's so sad to see these stories already start flooding around. I have friends, by the way, who have messaged to friends of mine to say that in some areas, some shops selling non-vegetarian meat has already been shut down. Now, these are moments of despair, in my opinion, because the government has not yet been formed. There is a period of transition. Yes, TMC will be disappointed, and there are issues where Mamata Banerjee has not yet resigned, and this is going to go to the courts. There could be a constitutional crisis of sorts. So there is a state of flux, which is the reason why it is very important that at the moment all places of worship have higher degree of patrolling, that there is somebody who calls for calm. But Mr. Srinivas sounds like a very reasonable gentleman. But I'm sure he will agree with me that when Suvendu Adhikari, who's, by the way, I would assume the CM designate, when he in the past when mentioned about a Gaza-like solution, and even after winning, when you have to be so graceful, if statements are made by leaders that says, I will take care of those who voted for me and not for those who did not vote for me, well, let me tell you, that is not democracy. In democracy, when you get elected, you become a chief minister or a prime minister of every citizen in the country, whether they voted for you or not. Otherwise, you're a prime minister or a chief minister of the BJP. And that's not what the Indian constitution mandates at the end of a democratic contest. So I think there are some serious challenges here for India. And we should be very worried because, I'm worried, as a citizen, not just as a Congress supporter or as a liberal secular person. We've seen what happened in Manipur, Sanket. And Manipur has not been sorted out. It's gone over 2 years. You don't want conflict. You don't want a situation where a government cannot function because there's a law and order problem. And if you don't have police and paramilitary, you can't run the state. I mean, that will be bizarre. It will be a disservice to the people of Bengal who have voted and given a decisive verdict, even if that verdict is being contested. And we'll wait and see what the Supreme Court says.
My problem here, Mr. Srinivas, is that all of this is happening. I can understand history of violence in the past also. Oh, remember 2021? How have you forgotten this sort of whataboutery I've heard. The difference between what has happened this time and what happened in the past is that this violence is happening by a ruling members allegedly of the ruling party despite central paramilitary forces. 70,000 of them designated to stop exactly this. So, to that effect, would you call this a complete failure of the Chief Election Commissioner's vision, statement that we will have paramilitary forces to control this? They've failed.
Sanketji, I would say that TMC is not a kid on the block. They have many aces up their sleeves since they have lost the elections badly. They will have the plan B and plan C and plan D to ensure that the incoming government does not settle down and ensure that the cycle of violence continues.
Mr. Srinivas, my question was related to the central paramilitary forces. You had been saying this, you had been alleging this situation. And that is why central paramilitary forces were deployed. What precious little have they done?
That is where I'm coming, Sanketji. That's where I'm trying to coming here. Now, the police raids, the CRPF raids are going on at this moment of time when we are speaking right now in this particular debate. They have increased the vigilance. They have increased the security, and the election commission is now seized of the entire situation. Unfortunately, what happened? The assassination happened. It is very unfortunate. And in Sandesh Khali also there was an attack, and the gentleman who attacked, he ran away to Bangladesh. We are trying to catch other people, remnants who did that particular. And there you also know it very well that CRPF and some lady constables also got injured, and it has been identified that they were all related to Trinamool. Now we don't want to get into the blame game. We want to ensure that this is eradicated from the root. And we the moment we come into the government, we don't do this cycle. We don't get into the revenge. We give a different changed government. That is our motto right now.
Mr. Srinivas, while it is politically convenient, Mr. Sanjay Jha, for Mr. Srinivas to say that this is TMC, which is allegedly not allowing the new government to settle in and creating roadblocks. However, most of the violence that has happened, that has been witnessed, is against the TMC, at TMC's offices, against the CPM, where Lenin's statue has been broken, and all sorts of killings which have happened. There are some BJP members also have been killed, but largely the targeted violence is against those who have lost. To say that all of these people are some goons who are trying to infest and infiltrate into the BJP, do you think it's very rich coming from the BJP?
No, I mean that sounds rather absurd. There could be a few instances. I'm not going to deny there could be a few instances, but there is no kind of denying the fact that bottom line, this is an organic. It's a different kind of rage that we are seeing a manifestation of. It's obviously a lot of pent-up frustration. Yes, the BJP has been wanting to win this election. There were high stakes. It has been a vicious election. I've never seen an election as an observer. I didn't go to Bengal, but Assam and Bengal have been the most communally, I would say, vituperative campaigns that I have seen in my life. Social media, speeches, the anger, everybody's spoken a language that's been nothing short of outrageous. It's frightening when a home minister of the country, and Amit Shah is the home minister of India, and I don't care what the provocation was for Mr. Shah, but for him to say that anybody who steps out and you'll be hung upside down, this is not the language of civility and decency and a political dialogue that will bring people together. So I think there has been, and I'm not saying that the TMC hasn't uttered equally aggressive language. I'll concede that both sides have gone at each other's throats. The truth is that at the moment, one thing is evident, that the BJP needs to control the people who are on the streets. Because when a TMC loses, I really don't see, well, if they do anything, you have an administration that can address it. But at the moment, what happens is when people win, this is the normal trend in most victories, they get carried away. They want to demonstrate their success. People take to the streets and start tearing down this poster, bringing down that billboard, abusing a certain leader. I can tell you that many of the opposition TMC leaders at the moment must be worried. There could be a physical attack next. What are we talking about here, Sanket? I'm very glad you're discussing this. Mr. Srinivas looks like a very reasonable gentleman. But it's important for the BJP today to realize that the people of India are watching. And if Kerala can have a smooth transition, if let's use that as a good example, right? Kerala is having such a smooth transition. Tamil Nadu is in a state of transition towards a government that will be formed soon. Why should Bengal be different? It's important to address this point.
Yeah, Mr. Srinivas, before you answer, I would have respected and understood your position if you would have acknowledged that our own cadre and members are also involved in hooliganism, rioting, and arson. Something that your own BJP president and senior leaders of the Bengal BJP are also admitting. There are open appeals that are going on that if you are caught, you will be arrested. So will you or will you not admit that if if the BJP takes action against these people who are in their euphoria and celebration, unleashing violence, and you take action against them, I can understand that you are leading by example and then also trying to identify those miscreants. But that has not happened. What is happening now is the BJP claiming that this is not BJP, which is unleashing violence. Everything is TMC.
Sanketji, see, from the day one when the results were declared, the appeals were given not once, many times from the different seniority of the leadership, and it has gone well percolated down to the mandal level that we are not. I'm repeating again, we are not going to indulge in the cycle of violence. Yes, we will identify those who are getting involved there, especially those who are trying to change colors, and we'll ensure that they are brought to the book. Yes, and what exactly you said, our leaders are also saying the same thing. If somebody is caught, we'll ensure that things are ensured that these are brought to the book and they are brought to, and law takes its own course.
Yeah, I think Mr. Srinivas got somebody was calling him, which is why suddenly his frame tilted. But Mr. Sanjay Jha, my final question: what should one do in a situation like this? What does one do?
Sanket, let me tell you, lives are being lost. To my mind, that's a very serious issue. America has launched a war against a country if they have lost a couple of lives. Here, there are ordinary citizens being killed in a post-poll violence. I mean, if we don't respect human lives, then I think we basically are abandoning our role of accountability in any democratic society. The first thing that should happen right now is that should be not just a call for calmness and peace. I would expect not just the home minister, but the prime minister to intervene and say the elections are over. There is going to be a government being formed, and appeal to every section of society to build a new and a better Bengal, because that's what a verdict is normally given by the people. But at the moment, what is very disturbing, Sanket, is that the language of the victory, or rather the victor party, seems to be extremely polarizing, even post a win. The normal thumb rule is that when you win, you actually become more universal, more accepting of all elements of society, all sections of society, whether they voted for or against you. But if there is going to be a continued demarcation or division in terms of the preferential constituency who will get better treatment vis-a-vis those who probably did not vote for you, then you are actually sowing the seeds of division. I really don't understand the logic of that, because that will make governance impossible. I mean, to my mind, that is not constitutionally healthy, that is politically divisive, and that is democratically illegal. You can't do that. When you become a chief minister, you take an oath, or your prime minister, you take an oath to serve every citizen. So I think it's a responsibility of the BJP state leadership to speak a language of harmony, of oneness, and to rebuild Bengal with a greater degree of equanimity and calmness.
And a word for Mr. Gyanesh Kumar. I remember a very famous tweet from the Election Commission, Mr. Sanjay Jha, and I'll ask this question of Mr. Srinivas also. Mr. Sanjay Jha, there was a tweet ahead of the Bengal elections where Gyanesh Kumar's Election Commission said, "Dear Trinamool Congress, this time around the election will be violence-free, booth capturing free, gundagardi free, and all sorts of things." He very specifically mentioned a party. Right? In effect, the election commission became a party in these elections. Yeah. And that election commissioner is still responsible for what is happening. Law and order is directly his domain till a new government takes over. So where is his accountability?
Well, let me tell you, let me give this credit to him to some extent, that at least till the elections are over, I mean, there was peace. There was no real, kind of deaths or political violence going.
Yeah, unchecked. But then that's not where his responsibility ends.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. And I think he's completely abdicated responsibility post elections. I mean, the EC has taken their eye off the ball. I mean, this was not expected. I mean, people know that this is a historic election. There has been a change of government after 15 years. The BJP has been running a very aggressive campaign for a long time. This could spill over into a very dangerous territory. And if the chief election commissioner has been frankly missing in action, not being able to stop this for whatever reason, the accountability really stops with him. The buck stops at the top.
Mr. Srinivas, do you think it will serve well if the chief election commissioner, his two other election commissioners, the home minister, the prime minister, were all to number one, appeal for calm, and number two, take strict action to control this spate of violence right away? That is when one can understand that you want to bring the situation under control. Otherwise, the message that is going out is that till there was no BJP victory, there was peace, and the moment there was victory, a section has been left to fend for themselves, and the other section has suddenly become the perpetrator with patronage of the establishment.
Sanket ji, I would like to say only one thing. From the day one, we never ever participated in any violence. We were at the receiving ends. I don't want to get into the whatabouteries. Right now, I'm saying still we are appealing to everybody. We please remain silent. Please, violence has no place. And the second thing is that I'm requesting Trinamool Congress, especially Mamta Di, please accept the verdict as with a lot of grace and ensure that you exit gracefully and your also cadre listens to you. Now, if you say that I am a fighter and I'll not go without fighting, that instigates her cadre and ensures that it also heats up the entire situation of the day on the other side also. So, if I say in Hindi, tali ek haath se nahi basti. Now we got to have cooperation from all the
No,
sides.
Mr. Srinivas, this tali and thali and all, no. The point is about accountability.
Okay, accountability.
You see. Okay, let me make it easy for you. You are in Telangana. If something were to happen on the law and order front in Telangana, who will you blame? The chief minister, right?
Exactly.
Similarly, right now, a law and order crisis is happening in West Bengal in transit. Will you not blame the chief election commissioner?
See, the buck stop, as you rightly said, the buck stops with the chief election commissioner. Now, the things have been appraised to him that he has to control this. But having said this, you also know it very well, Sanket, that we already have a compromised Trinamool Yukt ecosystem which has to be cleaned after we get into the entire ecosystem. At least give us some credit that it is not going to spiraled out of the hand. The CRP
No, it has spiraled. It has. I don't know why you are saying it has not. It has, and most of the perpetrators are carrying the BJP flag.
And see, anybody can carry the BJP flag. Let us not pat ourselves saying that every time whatever you see, somebody catches a BJP flag, he is going to be a BJP karyakarta. No, it is 100%. There will be a possibility that Trinamool karyakartas are there who are trying to mask as a BJP karyakarta. It is happening. That is the reason our leaders had to issue appeals in Bangla and even English that nobody will come into BJP until and unless we say yes.
700 companies of paramilitary forces, where are they? 700 means 70,000 personnel. That's a huge number. Along with West Bengal police, a huge number. And if they are not being able to contain the situation, I don't know what will. Thank you very much, Mr. T.R. Srinivas, as well as Mr. Sanjay Jha, for joining us. Thank you so much.